Hello guys, Pepe here with another NSX update. This is a kind of like winter project slash COVID project because we all have COVID at home. So sadly, so I'm basically stranded and taking care of the family. So while I have some time, I can uh, work in some of the stuff that I had for the winter. So I bought this kit from guy in NSX Prime, Tim, and he posted as a kind of like beta testers for this LED upgrade for the NSX. And basically it's obviously a bunch of circuit boards with the LEDs, and you need to weld them all into the circuit board. These are all welded. I'm missing a few here, but I welded this one. It's just it's pretty bright. I can show you, how it looks like. So yeah, so I had to weld like 1,000 and so more. I don't know, it's like 800 more, I think it is. And I will be showing, I will create in the next videos of how to put it together and so on. So it comes with all the LEDs. You have to weld them yourself. This is obviously the first version, so I'm like basically testing it out. Here are all the cables. It comes with all the cables and the instructions to put everything together, and the circuit boards for here are the LEDs, for example. So these are 600 and something LEDs. The circuit boards for the brake lights, and is all pretty beautifully done. But this is for someone that likes to weld. I don't mind it actually. It's pretty fulfilling once you see that they're all lighting up and everything. And you get pretty good at it once you do it really fast. And it has a controller too here. I have the controller. I haven't opened it yet. Well, I did open the side. Let me see if I can do it with one hand, but I don't think I can. But the controller is there, which has some pods and adjustable things for the lights to behave in different ways and so on. So here is the controller. It has an LED there, and those are the pods to adjust illumination, and there is other settings. This is 3D printed, but it's actually pretty good. Pretty decent. It doesn't have to be fancy at all, obviously, and it obviously is ventilated. So yeah, so these are the adjustable things for the pods for the LEDs, and those switches are to change the behavior of the lights and so on. It's all documented. I will be, those are all the connectors where all the lights go. So I will be showing the rest of the process, which is going to take a while because you need to, separate the lights and the lens and so on. I'm going to be showing you that process too. But, this I'm just starting with the backup lights. Now this one is done. So I need to move on and to the next one, which will be, I will try the signaling lights, which are a little bit bigger than this, and then the brake lights, which are humongous. So yeah, so pretty interesting project. So yeah, I will continue, and well, I don't need to show you how to weld and things like that. There is 1,500,000 videos in YouTube how to do it. Good penetration, good weld, quality. This is the one that I'm using. The brand doesn't matter, but it's the alloy, I guess, is and the flux is what is important. So yeah, so I will continue going. This took me to do this one. It took me like 10 minutes or so to do it. You go row by row. I use a piece of tape to hold all the LEDs against the edge like that, and so they're all pressed against the board, and then I put it here in my little vise and start going for it. I use my finger on the back to hold the LEDs. You see they're all at the same height. So if I'm welding this row, even though the tape isn't holding it, I still put my finger under while I'm welding the first tab of the LED. Then I can release and weld the other four. but I go row by row, not 4 by 4. So I go one row, another row, and so on. It works for me. Some people might like to do one LED at a time, so these 4, I found it easier to go that way. Anyways, so yeah, it's tedious for but sometimes I like tedious work that doesn't require that much thinking. The LEDs obviously have to be oriented in a specific way. There is a squared connector there, and there's a 45-degree angle in every LED, and that has to match. That's part of the instructions. If you put it wrong, it's not going to work. And I had a few, this one actually turned on right away, except for these 4 here. And I forgot one of the welds. There's so many, I forgot one of them. And in the other one, I had bad penetration of the weld, so I had the temperature too low, so it didn't penetrate. It didn't go through the board, the weld. So, and I put more weld this time, and this one worked right away, except for those 4. And then, but it was just one more weld, and it worked everything. Every LED light up. So, as I showed you before. So yeah, so I will continue going, and I will show the step by step process. This is the first video about it. Pretty cool. There is a bunch of options that the light can do. It's kind of like the arc lights, but very similar, much cheaper, but obviously you have to build it yourself. So anyhow, we'll continue by. All right, so I wanted to show you this kind of step that I do to finish up one of the, be able to weld the first this circuit board. So I put all the LEDs in place. Like I said before, I think there is a corner of the LED that is 45 degrees or whatever, and there is a square connector there, or hole that is marked, and that's where you align the LED. So the square goes to the 45 degree. So if we look at here, the square connector or welding point is the one that you align the 45 degree angle of the LED. I don't know if I can show you here. The light is hard to see, but this corner is 45 degrees. It's not a straight corner. I think it's better. There you can see it. So there's a few extra left, which is good in case one fails. And so what I do now is I put tape over like this, and then so I can flip it over and then weld it. And so I make sure that I press this down, because some of them don't go through very easily. So press them down. They're all basically at at the same height. And then I put the tape, and then I weld. So that's how I do it. Okay, so here is the circuit board with the tape. Like I said, put tape on top of it, and so you can flip it over. I know that all the I know that all the LEDs are at the same height, and so I basically put it on my table that I wouldn't call it a welding table, but where I do all this stuff. Put tape here and here to hold against the table under pressure, so it doesn't move up anyways. And then I go row by row, and you can do it whatever way you want, and zigzag, or do it this way first, every single row that way, or column this way, or row that way, or column that way, whatever. That's how I do it. And like I said, don't use enough heat, otherwise the weld is not going to go through the other side. These are dual-sided circuit boards, so they need to weld on both sides. So you need to make sure that the weld goes through the leg of the LED to the other side, so enough weld is necessary. And when I weld, I keep I always keep some pressure in it anyways, to make sure if the LEDs, for example, are not, one is higher than the other, but you can tell here, like it's not moving around is stable, so that means that all the LEDs are at the same height. So anyhow, so I'm going to actually do that one now, which is going to take some time, and then I will do the other one, and I will be ready to weld all these circuit boards. I would say that is the most tedious part of all this is actually welding every pin, and actually be able to see. I'm getting old, so seeing this pin here and making sure that I have enough light and all that, it has been an issue actually. So I bought one of those magnifier glasses things, so I can wear one because I truly don't see much. I mean, I see this, where my nail is, but after welding 150 of these things, you kind of get dizzy a bit, or I do, anyways. So I think that those magnifying glasses are going to help, so I don't get a headache. So yeah, so I will continue with putting all those LEDs, 680 of those. I think at 340 each, I think, something like that. Anyways, it's going to take a while. So here are the headlights of the NSX. I had a few cars in my life, I don't know, 15, 20, maybe, I don't know. I never seen headlights, tail lights this long. I mean, my convertible they're about this big, I would say. So they're pretty long, so don't drop them when you take them out of the car, because they're going to break no matter what you do. This one is fine, but this one is, I guess this is normal over the years. You see those, I don't know if you guys can see those cracks. Oof, the camera. There, no, that's not a crack. Is it? Yeah, that's like a crack. Let's see. With the reflection maybe is better. There, you see it there, right there. So those cracks in the plastic, it's like there's a bug there. So there is things like that. There's a few bugs there, but they're not broken or anything, so that's fine. That one is better shape. I don't know if that's a normal thing. I mean, my other headlights, over the years with the sun, they cracked, so no matter what you do. So here they are. I don't have to do a video to show you how to remove them. You just remove these things, these very little 8mm nuts out of the car, and that's it. I mean, if you don't know how to do this, you better don't even try it. You don't have to read the manual to how to remove this. Disconnect the cables, whatever. I don't know what this is. I need to figure out who did this or why is it there. Yeah, so I'm going to basically continue with the process of getting these seals out of here, which I hope they're not going to get destroyed when I remove them, because I need to remove them. Maybe I don't. And then you're supposed to hit it with a heat gun to separate the glue. Now, I have done this before in headlights for Mitsubishi, an Honda Acti that I imported from Japan, and I put them on the oven. In one, I did a mistake that I put them on the oven for too long, which was not cool. It actually burned the glass, so I had to polish it and whatever. But if you heat them up at about 300 degrees for like 4 minutes, this gets really soft, and so you can take them out. But I will do that on headlights or tail lights that are like $200, but not something that could cost me $600 US to replace. So I think I'm going to go slow with the heat gun to try to separate them and see how that goes. I don't want to deform anything or whatever, so I'm going to take my time, heat it, and see how that works. But yeah, I'm not keen to destroy these lights because these are the only ones I have. So yeah, so I will continue with the process. I'm going to basically take all the lights out, obviously this out of here, and then starts to see if I can separate this. I'm actually going to try to separate it right now instead of removing this, because I need to heat up this area only, so I don't think I'm going to damage the foam of the seal, because the seal is you know, I think oof, you see it's going to break if I don't know, maybe I will use a scraper and, you know, take it out without damaging. I don't want to buy a new seal. This seal is fine. They're old, but they seem to be okay. So anywho, I will continue with the process and show you how that worked. So after a few weeks, months, I don't know, years, millennial, I end up back into this. Very busy with projects, end of the year. It's crazy for me. Anyways, so I put these guys in the oven for 5 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I have done this before, where for on the Acti I imported from Japan, I needed to change the headlights because they were not DOE, no, whatever is the code for the headlights here. Anyways, so I had to make my own ones with LEDs, so I had to separate the lens, and I did the same way, but I had to put them far longer than this one's in the oven, and I think this one's at 350 degrees. Maybe 3 minutes or 4 is fine, because it did melt a little bit here. This guy melted. I can't recall what that is. I think it does a screw, and this tab melted a little bit too, and that tab melted too. It bent over back. I know that tab is fine, but these tabs here that were closer to the bottom, they kind of melted. So I put the light facing the lens facing up, and this down, so this melted a little bit. So yeah, I think I'd put it on grill will be better. Anyways, I'm going to just heat this up and make it back in shape. It's not a big deal, but yeah, there's a little bit of a mistake. You see the shape there, it's all wrinkled. So I'm going to have to reform those. It was a bit too hot for too long. This area here too melted a little bit too, where the grill was. That was a mistake. Anyways, but it didn't break. All the tabs came out fine. All this gluey stuff is just super annoying. All this it's kind of like butyl tape. It's super hard to take it out. So it was way easier with the oven, with the heat gun. It would take forever. I will do the other one for 4 minutes. So everything came out fine, and then it's broken. Well, the part that is important is this area here, plus the lens. This took a while to take out, because this thing is just super thin, so I didn't want to break it. So, and there's a lot of glue in these areas here, so I didn't want to break it. So basically what I have to do now, I have to clean all this, which I am not going to do right now because it's way too much work. So once this is clean, then I can put the LEDs in here and all that. So yeah, so the rest is, I mean, this looks in pretty decent shape, but yeah, very hard to take it out. So with a heat gun in a cold weather like right now, it will be, I would say it would be impossible, because you had to pray off so hard this material that I think that you will break it, because it's too long. It's way too long. If it was a short light, like from here to here, sure, but this thing's too long, so you had to keep having heat all the time. It would be yeah, it would take you, you know, an hour to take it out, if it's possible. Maybe you need 2 hands, someone helping you. So yeah, the oven is better, I think. Obviously you don't want the foam seal in the oven, because it just burn in 2 seconds. So yeah, you see these tabs here. So this is the tab that, you know, got a little bit melted. This other guy here melted, which is this is to hold the cables, which is not a big deal. So yeah, so this one I'm going to put it just for 4 minutes instead of 5 minutes. But yeah, this is one of two, and then I will, you know, do the rest, clean up all this, and anyways. So I will show you guys the update. Whoa, it's hot. So you guys saw how I did this. I separated the light, but I realized I made a big mistake. So even though I made it 4 minutes, look at what happened with the lens. You see all the waves, how it deformed? So this part here in front is fine except for one area there. All the rest, look at what happened. And even though it was actually for 1 minute, one less minute, still got all deformed. Interestingly enough, the other one that was there for 5 minutes, nothing happened. So, but this one did. I don't know why. And so I was using the heat gun, and I got too close, and look at what I did. So I don't think this will buff out, because this is basically bubbles in the plastic, and that is going to stay there forever. So I think I'm going to have to live with that. So I don't want to mess around with this anymore, because you see how bad it is. So I'm going to make a wood jig, because this is way too warm, and I'm going to heat it up in the oven again another day. And I'm just going to press it against each other with a piece of wood, so that I can. So I made it a little bit more straight when I was heating it up by hand, but it's too hot, so you can't press. So I need something to press against after it is heated up. So it's kind of like a piece of wood like that, and then press it down. And I think that will work. And then I will try to see if I can buff this guy out. Maybe it will get better. It happened to me in the other lens, in the other light that I had, that I was talking about before. And you know, I buffed it and actually looked pretty good. I mean, you will see that there was a haze there, but wasn't that bad. This is not that bad, so I don't feel so bad about it. But I'm still pissed because, anyways, you want it to be perfect, but it's not perfect. So they're a bit deformed. Actually, to be honest, this could have been like this a little bit before, and I didn't even notice. My guess is that they were a bit deformed with the heat, but not that much. Now with the heat, the plastic kind of relax and finds the, well, plus I put them like this, so it will just will go in that shape anyway. So yeah, they're too long, so I think I'd maybe just take an hour with the heat gun is maybe better than doing this, because if one light went well and the other one didn't go well, maybe it's not a good idea to do it in the oven. But so yeah, I'm going to try to, I will play with this later. I don't want to mess around with it anymore, because I think I'm going to just get frustrated and screw it up even more. I need to prepare the jig, like I said, and then that should be okay. And actually it's just this area here, so this is fine because it's kind of reinforced here. Here is fine, and there is a low spot here. I can feel it here, right there. And then this part here that is all wavy, see, right there. So I think if I have a piece of wood, like I said before, if I had a piece of wood and I heat it up with a heat gun and I press it down, and a piece of wood that has a little bit of a crown, not crown, sorry, a little bit of shape, what is it called? I forgot. Crown, I guess. It will not make them completely flat, because this is actually not completely flat. So I think I will make the shape a little bit with a crown and then press it against it, and then it should be fine. It should go back to shape, because you just hit this area here, not the whole light. So it's not going to, these parts are not going to move. So yeah, so it's not the desired outcome that I wanted, but it's fixable. But no tabs broken, nothing. Everything came out really easy. So maybe 3 minutes to be safe will be the time for these lights in particular, I guess. In 3 minutes, it will get hot enough to start removing it. Not as easy, but you're going to have to pray a little bit more, but I think it will work. So yeah, so that's how it looks like. Well, this is the update after a few months. Well, saving money and trying to find a decent kit. I found a pair of tail lights from a member in Canada. So it was in Canadian dollars, which is better than US. And these ones are actually better than the ones that I had before I even tried to do the LED conversion. There's a tiny crack there. It's one of the layers that is very common due to age. But the rest, I mean, mine's had like a bunch of little cracks everywhere here and everywhere here. So these are way better. So I decided not to touch it at all. So I am not going to do an LED conversion of this one's. Why? Because, well, as you saw in the other video, well, I destroyed this one. So this is the one that I destroyed. It looks really good. You see all those waves? Yeah. So that was a really stupid mistake. But if you look at this glass, although it's dirty and all that, or glass, sorry, the plastic, there's a bunch of cracks. There were a bunch of cracks here, in this area here, and here, very little ones. You can't really see them now because it's all kind of dirty. But anyhow, so since I'm afraid of separating those that are in such a nice shape compared with the ones that I had, that I'm not looking into touching that. Although this one, you can see this one, you can see more of the cracks. So let me move it over here. So this one, let me clean it up for you. There's tons of dust in the garage. So if you look at this, you will be able to see the cracks or not. Through the phone, it's hard. Let me find the cracks first. And you will be able to, oh, here. So here you can see them, I think. I'm trying to zoom. Oof, the reflection on the phone. The phone doesn't know where to find them. Oh, maybe there. Let me see. Oh, you see them there. Yeah, those are those kind of deflections, I guess. Those are cracks in the, oh, there you go. It's all scratched, all that's like cracked over there. So this one is the left one. And this one is in kind of rough shape. These are kind of like multi-layer. So there's a crack here, for example, or a scratch, deep scratch, but they all crack anyways. So these are kind of multi-layer. There's a layer here and a layer in the bottom, I think, because the other ones, when I hit them up, one layer broke and it was actually the bottom layer. Anyways, so I think I'm going to do the LED conversion in this light to see how it looks like, and I will show you guys that, because this one is already disassembled, and I have already the whole circuit board welded. So I'm going to do one, and then once I have some money, I will buy another set. I will try to buy to see if I can buy actually the lens, maybe a JDM version of the lights that is a little bit darker, which I actually do like. They still sell the JDM new, so I think I'm going to save some money to buy the JDM version, which is just darker red, which is fine with me, and so I can have a pair of lights that are perfect, although not American version, whatever, who cares. The matching number thing is not my thing. So but I'm going to test it on this one since it's separated, so I can see how it looks like. And then once I get the JDM versions, a brand new set, then I can take this one apart and the other one, and instead of this one, to see how it looks like, because this one is in rough shape. So I mean, this is, yeah, I can do a LED conversion of this, but this plastic is already in bad shape. I guess you can polish it up and make it look better, but even polishing it up, these cracks are not going to go away. So and it's a bit wavy too, this one, which could happen because of the heat treatment I put them under. But so that's what I think I'm going to do, because I want to actually drive the car. The weather is getting a little bit better, so, and I don't have lights, so I think I'm going to postpone this a little bit, and maybe later I will put the LED, like I said, here and show you guys how it looks like. But yeah, so I guess this helps as a lesson learned for me and for you guys, to not do what I did with that, too much heat, so that you can do it yourself later. Anyhow, that's the update so far. I don't think I will be working too much in the NSX due to economical situation in general, and I need a bunch of body parts for the damage that this car have that I want to fix. So I think I'm going to just slowly, very slowly find the parts, and then fix it together. For now, since I have all the parts, what I'm focusing on the bus. I'm doing my bus conversion, so I'm actually putting the heat together, hydraulic heat from my bus. So I will be doing some videos about that. But for now, I'm going to focus on putting those these taillights in the car so I can actually drive this car. Here's another update of the. Well, I'm working on the passenger driver side turn signal. This is the one that I didn't destroy. But now I have installed the originals that I bought from someone in Facebook, and so I decided to use this one that I already took apart to put the LEDs. So this is how it looks like. I used my soldering iron to melt and kind of like make the path clean. Basically, I melted what is left of the material, the glue material there. It looks ugly, but I clean up as much as I could by pushing it to the edge, like that. So that's. I remove a lot of it, so it's almost straight. Like I can press the light a little bit because I don't want to press it right now and heat up with the heat gun does, so that it actually glues in. I want to see how it looks like first, and then just basically leave it there, and I might decide, depending on how it looks, if I really want to take those lights that I just put on apart later or not, or I buy another set or whatever it is. So this is how it looks like now. I'm going to put the reflector and the lens on top of it. I think you can put it with the reflector, without the reflector. I think I would try both and see. So that's why I'm not going to glue this, and see how it looks like in the car compared with the original lights. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a pair of JDM lights, which are a bit darker red than this, and use those and leave those. They still sell them new, so I will buy those for like spares, and then I'm going to take these ones apart. That's my idea. We'll see what I do. It all depends on money and availability and all that kind of stuff. But at least now I can drive the car because I have taillights. So I will wire these up, install in the car, and so you guys can see a comparison of how it looks with this kit and the other kit. I need to just go out inside and grab the wiring diagram to know where to connect it in the car, and hopefully I can have both circuits running. We'll see. But yeah, how many set of lights you need to learn how to do an LED conversion? I guess 3 maybe. But so these are the old ones that you saw how I basically warped big time in the oven and all that. All right, so then I got, that's the good one, or the other one that came out okay, but I think that this one is fine, but the back is a bit bent. Anyhow, that was on the car. But then, sorry, it wasn't the car. Then I bought another set that was in such a good shape that I said, okay, I am not going to touch this set, which I converted, because it's in super good shape. Like the plastic is not cracked, and I guess the car was like, in a garage, and those were like cooked by the sun anyways. So there's no like those micro cracks everywhere and so on, except for a crack up here in one of them, which I kind of fixed, and I'm going to polish to make it, kind of blend in a little bit. You're still going to see it, but no matter what. And this other crack here, which I made, which is unfortunate, but I put too much pressure on this side, and it kind of cracked. So, but this light, actually this in particular one, I put it on with the gaskets that came with it. I didn't change them, so I knew that they were old, so but I reused them. And I guess they leaked, and so it had this much water inside one day, because I leave my car outside. Although I have a garage here, I leave my car outside, and it started raining. So anyhow, so I had to take it out. So I took it out, and I took all the water out, and then I waited for get to dry. I put it in front of the heat vent, and it still didn't dry it out. And so it's like 3-4 days, and I'm like, well, I use a heat gun, air blower, and whatever, nothing. So I was like, okay, well, the only chance I have to clean this up is to dry it out, is to actually take it apart. But at that point, then I was like, well, I just better do that and then see how it will look, the LED conversion on it. So I did this one, put it on, I left that one, driver's side, untouched. And I drove like that for like a week. My wife and a bunch of other people said that obviously the LED light looked way better. And actually at night you can see far more than the very dim old lights anyway. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? So I'm just going to do both. So that's what I did. Did both lights. This is basically an improved version of this. I put the circuit boards inside, and then you click, you connect the cables there. So, but this ones I glue them. This one is I use like that butyl thing to hold them. So they are held in place, but they're not glued. So these ones I glue them because, I was paranoid that one day I will drive and this thing will rattle inside, because these circuit boards, this one is snug, but that one is a bit loose. Like it fits really well, but it has room. It is not press fit, and that one is the same. So I was like, okay, well, I will put some glue on it. I fixed the crack that, like I said, I think it's this one. No, the other one. I can't show you right now, but anyways. So, and what I did is that I put silicone all around here. So this dries transparent. So once it is dry, this should go away. Although I don't really care because you don't see this part of the light, anyways. But I put silicone all around it so that this doesn't leak anywhere. And I put this one. This was on the car, and it rained and it didn't leak, so that's good. And I put silicone all the way here too, so that it will never leak again, hopefully. And in this one I used silicone, a new silicone that is actually the worst thing I ever used in my life, and it's this thing. So don't buy this. This is this guy. Removable water strip sealant and whatever. It's crystal clear, and I want it clear. And I was like, okay. Then I use this, which is way better. And this is RTV and is automotive grade, whatever it is. This dries clear, but not as clear as that. It's true that this thing is really, really clear, but it comes out like in crumbs out of the thing. It's like, it's not that this is too old. It just comes out it's weird. It's not easy to put on compared with this one. So very, very strange to put it on. Maybe this can was bad or something. I don't know. But anyhow, I didn't like it. It is very crystal clear for sure. But I didn't like it much. So the bottom here, for example, it's super hard to make it straight and clean compared with the silicone that you can put do it with your finger and it looks very nice. Anyhow, so anyways, I did another pass with silicone, with that silicone, the Permatex, and it looks, and I'm waiting for to dry. This part here you don't see anything, and none of this side you see anything. The idea is that it doesn't leak. That's the goal. So yeah, so I'm waiting to dry. Then I can put it in the car, and I will have finally you know, the LED conversion done, and I need to route the cables and things like that, which are easy. And I hear in this crack I'm going to use EMK, methyl something something, because it wicks through plastic and it will melt the two sides. So it's good for this kind of cracks where, but it doesn't work in all the plastics. But I did have, it's the same thing that it comes in the solvents for the PVC pipes. You know, the glue that you buy for PVC pipes, you know, those white pipes like that. So I'm going to buy pure MEK and pour it here so that that doesn't crack more, and that's about it. But you don't see this crack from outside the car, like if the angle is like it's perfect. I was so lucky that just under here. I was really sad if it was up here. And to take this apart, I used a heat gun. I took, I don't know, 25 minutes each, and I heat them up here and on the side like that, and it worked really well. I have nothing to say about it. Super easy to do. You have to put some pressure, but kind of like if you hit this area here and you start lifting up here, then you can hit this area here. I basically hit up everything first, one pass, and then I hit this more, and then I start lifting here, and then I hit all this area here. I start lifting and actually taking the tabs out, you know, so that it gets unlocked, and it works really well. And once you have a lot of you have this separated about, you know, 2 inches, you gotta start working your way out very gently around this area here, because you don't really want to crack any of these corners. So yeah, so I'm going to wait for this to finish, and the other thing is that I needed to get new gaskets. These are the old gaskets. So, you know, it's like $75 US for a set of gaskets. This is a piece of foam with double side tape. I mean, this doesn't add HPs to your car. This is foam, people, foam. So I bought this from Amazon. Someone in NX Prime posted after I was complaining about the price. This is the same thickness and is neoprene, is the same material. It actually feels exactly the same. And look at the color. Even the color is the same. I mean, give me a break. $35 Canadian for this whole row. I can do at least 2 sets of this. Maybe 3. Look at it. Look at it, how big it is. I can maybe do 3 sets with this. So I'm making a template to actually, because this is 48 inches long, making a template to actually then cut this one off and the little ones, and that's about it. So people, just don't be stupid, just buy the roll, and now you have, you know, you can make 3 sets out of it, or 2, and you have for the rest of your life. You're going to be dead by the time that you change the other gasket, so who cares? So yeah, I'm doing myself. I'm just doing this right now. Once the weather changes and the car is not under the rain anymore, I can put the lights and finish all this up. So yeah. So I will show you after all that's done. So here are the gaskets. You can, with this piece, you can make 6 sets almost. I think that you might be short of this ones, but this is 3, and there is triple of that in length. So you can make 3 of them. Sure, they don't look like, you know, the cuts are not perfect, and you know, no one sees that. The only thing that they have to do, stop water. They will stop water. That's it. So $35, you can make 6 sets out of it. That's lifetime for your tail lights. So it's a pretty good deal. I'm still waiting for the last to dry, and then I will put them together in the car. So yeah, show you my last video you saw, or update I guess, from the taillight saga LED conversion. You saw me using the templates to make the foam thingy with that foam, the seal. Well, the taillights are installed. You saw some of my other issues about sorry, well, it's always a mess here, but since the foam, the seal I put is a bit thicker than the original. This was sticking out this way, and when I put this one, I didn't put any seals because that's how it came. And then I realized quickly that that was a mistake, because when I push it in, I cracked this corner here that you see. So this is the second time I fix this, but now, you know, it's good. I mean, it had a crack here and all that of age, but then I polish it and it looks fine. So here are the lights. Here's the one that, you know, has a repair that I haven't painted with the Sharpie yet, but the repair looks okay. I mean, you can see it obviously, but I don't care. It's not leaking. You saw me too that I had this light here. I put silicone on the seal when I was pressing them in, and then there was one hole where water went in. Well, that's fixed. This silicone that I put here, which is not the same one that I put here, it didn't actually last too long, start coming off, so I clean it up, and this is how it looks like when it's cleaned up. So I'm going to clean all the surface. Most probably I'm going to actually paint this with plastic paint, because they're kind of faded and they would look nice if they're painted. But anyways, here are the lights. I routed the cables down here. Cables are routed. These are the new cables. I went through here, and then you can see the cables for every light. That's where the circuit board is there for the reverse. And the control box now sits. Let me see if I can show you. That's because I have a humongous amount of stuff. No, I put it all together. Wait, let's see. Let me see if I can show you. It's right behind here. It's not attached because I want to wash it. So that's where the control box is. It's attached with 2 bolts in each side. And I routed all the cables. I didn't cut any cables or anything because, you know, they come with the pigtails and all that. So I just put a zip tie there. And yeah, no issues with that, and the lights work really well. Let me show you. I cannot press the brake while I'm here, but I can do this, and you can see I have it set up so that there is these 2 lines here in the middle that are not covered, but if you change the configuration, it will cover the whole thing. And I think I can do, let me do the signaling light. I believe that I can do, I think. If I don't, my garage is so tiny. Let's see. No, I need the light. Wait, let me put the key. Oh my god, I'm old for this. Okay, there. Whew. Whew. That's the problem with having a narrow garage. It's just super annoying. Do we have, why is it not working? Okay, let's try this again. Here. Oh, there it is. Now it's working. Let's check it out. So this is how it looks. This one looks like. Yeah, but if the phone cannot, it's just, but you can see the LEDs, you see. It goes really fast. Well, not that fast, but that's the speed, which is faster than original. When you press the brake, obviously, kind of like the voltage goes down, so that goes slower. I believe you can put a resistor to make it slower. I don't know. I am not an expert on this kind of stuff, but you know, the lights work. Let me show it one more time. Let me take the key out the car without breaking my back. Let's see. I am really old for this. Alright. So this is how it looks like. You see? I like that configuration instead of the whole bar illuminated. But yeah, so that's how it looks like. No more videos about taillights. I'm not doing this again. You know, it was fun to do it. I will do it for someone else after I learned so much about it, but yeah, it's a very delicate work, and it's very easy to break stuff. So, you know, I know there's some people that do it for other people in the NX Prime forum and so on, and I commend your work. This is hard. So anyhow, that's it about the taillights, and hopefully I'm not touching this ever again. Bye guys, take care, stay safe.